What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Unusual Suspects. Dave, we're on episode 79, bro. I can't believe it. We're going to be at 100 in no time. Guys, we have a fantastic show lined up for you guys today. A bunch of wild stories from Brazil, Twitter getting banned. I'll get into the stories, but just let you guys know who's on the panel today, my unusuals. Amy Dangerfield's here. Umberto's here. Rob G's here, and he's in the, what is that? What stance is that? That's the.
Oh, is this the Illuminati?
Top G.
Oh, no.
That's a top G.
Yeah, that's right.
Top G.
When you think of
G.
top G.
That's like basically putting your penis out in front of everybody's
Cobra
face.
Tate and Rob Gargiulo.
Yeah.
It's
David
called genital framing is what it is.
That's genital framing.
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
the actual term.
David Freiheit's here. By the way, we didn't cuss, so we're still good, right?
No, we haven't yet.
We haven't yet. All right, good. And we're going to keep it like that. But
8 minutes, Vinny. Just hold it.
I know, I'm holding it. I'm holding it.
8 minutes.
We have, so the stories, guys, for today, a couple of spies were just arrested in New York, and they were working for some pretty prominent governors in New York. We'll get into that. Rob is going to talk about Cardi B did a maternity shoot, and there was something with pedophilia involved. Not surprised. It's Hollywood. What else? Humberto's going to be talking about Brazil's X ban, which I think is freaking absolutely ridiculous. Amy is going to be talking about Trump at Arlington showing respects to the fallen soldiers and the freaking crap storm that he got. Notice I didn't cuss, and the crap storm that's going to be involved with that. And then David Freiheit, I genuinely think that you really, really like this person a lot. Kamala Harris and how she's switching accents.
On a scale of like detestable politicians, Justin Trudeau will always remain number one. Biden number 2, and Kamala Harris, she's inching up. She's competing with Biden. Cackling, Commie, Kamala.
And she's passed Hillary for you.
Yeah, but only because Hillary's no longer in the news cycle. Hillary might actually, you know what, now that you mention it, Hillary's number one.
Don't take the friggin' torch from Hillary. Hillary is detestable, and I just, like, the only people that I've been around that I felt evil was Anthony Weiner. Amy, I'm not even joking. He walked into the room and it got cold. I swear.
Oh, wow.
In this building. In this building, and Pat wouldn't put me on the podcast because he knew I would have probably punched this dude in the face. And who else was I around? It was another politician, Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom looks like a snake, and I'm almost positive when he goes home, he has a zipper and he unzips it, and a reptile comes out in the house.
I'm telling you, 100%.
Yeah, and eats like rats, and then he goes to sleep, babies, and then he goes to sleep. The freaking snake. But all right, guys, just really, really fast. And I always say this, and I'm going to say it at the end again. For all of our regulars, our day ones, I love you. We appreciate you more than you know. For all the new people that are here that haven't subscribed, please take 1 second, click on the subscription button, get the notifications when we're going live. Sometimes we have live shows, sometimes we have, I'm saying like impromptu shows. We're going, I just want you guys to be informed of when it happens. But that being said, guys, let's get right into it. As we came in here, I think, Amy, you said that you didn't even hear about this, and I'm going to tell you why you don't hear about shit like this, because China owns our asses, okay? So, Linda Sun, S-U-N, Sun, whatever the hell you want to call her, a former high-ranking aide to New York governors Kathy Hochul and Andrew Cuomo, was arrested yesterday with her husband, Chris, who apparently she didn't take his last name. They were charged with acting as secret agents for the Chinese government and the CCP. Linda Sun, she held various influential positions within the New York State's government, is accused of engaging in political activities that benefited the CCP, including, guys, listen to this, manipulating high-level officials' messaging to align with China's interests and blocking Taiwanese representatives from accessing New York State officers.
Is manipulating not code, but a euphemism for having intercourse with?
007 is notorious for banging the hot bad girl and then killing them. That's how it is.
It is.
But he bangs them first. Anyway, Linda Sun, several times she bragged to Chinese consulate officials about blocking Cuomo and Hochul from meeting with or publicly even mentioning Taiwan. Can you believe this shit, bro? She was in charge. By the way, you have to bleep that one out. When they disputed, by the way, including when Disputed Island sent 200,000 much-needed masks to New York during the early days of COVID-19 pandemic. The documents state her husband, Chris, who was involved in laundering the money they received as kickbacks from the Chinese government. They allegedly used their earnings to purchase luxury property vehicles, including a $4 million home in New York, ridiculous, a $2.1 million condo in Hawaii, and a 2024 Ferrari. They're going to be arraigned in Brooklyn I think today, and their arrest was at their Long Island home. Rob, can you? I mean, I'm sorry. And by the way, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Connor. The guy is not only the writer for VT News. The guy is a monster on this show with his stories. When somebody drops out, this guy's on the computer right now doing all these stories. So I want to give a shout out to Connor. Connor, can you please play this video? This is her sick ass home in Long Island, and this is them rating it. And yes, we put the photos so you guys can see how hot she is. Go ahead, play this. Dude, can you imagine that? Look at that. You're the neighbor of this chick, and that's happening. Spies.
Surprisingly, not properly identified for law enforcement.
Oh no.
Better.
But dude, like this, look at this neighborhood. This is a no joke Long Island neighborhood, bro.
But the idea that she would have a 2024 Ferrari, like the real estate is easier to not disguise but conceal. If you're gonna be a spy, get him whatever to get some money. You get a 2024 Ferrari. See,
yeah.
Lost in
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can stop it, Connor. So the indictment details years of efforts of Sun, allegedly at the request of the Chinese consulate, to minimize contact between Taiwanese government officials and New York governors under Cuomo and Hochul starting in 2016. Guys, this is right around the time that weird pandemic. Remember that pandemic? That virus, the deadly virus that came out of this same country? I'm going to get into that too. She boasted about her successful efforts with Chinese officials about how dope she was. And she said, in one time, this is in quotes, I almost had a heart attack when we referred to Taiwan as a country. She texted a Chinese official back in 2020, and she goes, thankfully, I had the press team corrected. One instance, she got Cuomo. Think about this. Think about the influence. She got Andrew Cuomo, to publicly thank Chinese officials who appears to be Consul General Huang Ping on social media for helping him line up 1 million surgical masks during COVID. Here's a video. Guys, here's a video of her pushing DEI, equity, okay, and saying that we have to have equity in the United States. Mind you, guys, this is a spy for China. Play the video.
I think, when people say diversity and inclusion, I think everybody agrees, or most people generally agree that it's a good thing, right? But I think right now we also need to bring in the word equity, right? Diversity is when you say that there's, many different types of people with different backgrounds, and they're all, invited to the table. Inclusion is when, we include all of their ideas. But equity is when we make sure that all of the people who are at the table have equal access to making sure that
you're a spy.
Well, first get that equal access is not what they mean by equity. It's equal outcomes that they mean by equity.
Quoted is that we don't have that much leadership or representation.
Guys, you understand what's happening? A Chinese spy was pushing, hey, everybody should have a voice. Everybody should be able to make decisions.
Except Taiwan.
Except Taiwan. And hey, guys, I'm a spy. So listen to me. And guys, I don't know about, I am sick and tired of China having its way with us, no lube, and nothing happens. Okay, this, by the way, the hell with the corruption, Rob. This is treason, okay? And it's not, by the way, MSNBC, and that's why, Amy, when I walked in today and I told about the story, Amy's like, I haven't even heard about it. Why would the mainstream media even cover this? They're worried about J-Lo and Ben Affleck's relationship as if I give a damn. I don't care. I've seen that more. Amy, I guarantee you know more about their relationship than what the hell's happening with spies embedded in our government, bro, that are making decisions.
Vinny.
Yes.
As a person who's been trailed by the CCP, okay?
Oh, shit.
They're the worst spies. They're super obvious. They're super obvious.
Why? Because they look alike?
No. They ask all these stupid questions. They take pictures everywhere. You will go to a restaurant. They'll be there. You go here. They will trail you. Super obvious. Oh, I can't talk much about the whole situation. But what I'm saying, I'm not playing this game, Vinny. Remember when that basketball player said something against China and
it was LeBron James.
No,
right?
I think it's Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
All right, he had to apologize. So, one of the biggest leagues of sports in the United States is afraid of China, and they made the guy apologize.
John Cena had to apologize in Mandarin.
He apologized in Mandarin. He's a cuck. I'm sorry.
He's a cuck, and so is freaking LeBron James.
So is LeBron James. So, owned, sold, and whatever. Like, there's nothing we can do about it.
What are you going to say?
I was going to say, I'd like to see a picture of the CCP to look at the diversity, equity, and inclusion there. Something tells me we're not going to see any other race, any other religion, any other creed. But that is pure subversion to have a literal Chinese communist spy pushing DEI when they know it's an intention to take down America via division.
The thing is that people don't understand, and this, I'm going to catch heat for this. Every Chinese citizen that comes into the United States is a potential spy. Everyone has a duty to report back to China. They have student unions in universities. They have a bunch of things, and they will report. And
what are they reporting on?
They report on whatever the Chinese government wants to know. Like, let's say you're working in a company.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing, whatever, and the Chinese go like, oh, this guy has access. They tap you in. And you have no choice if not you're going back to China.
That's the point, is that it's spying through either enticement or coercion, which these Chinese police stations that they had here were to harass either citizens, naturalized or residents, via threats of their family in China in order to get information from them. And so it's through duress that a lot of this actually happens.
But then guess what? How do you remedy the situation? And we talked about it before we came in here. It's like, hey, China, I'm sorry, Chinese people, your little group messed it up for everybody else. I would say 0 Chinese people are going to be working in government. I'm sorry. No AIDS, no nothing. This group has messed it up for everything. Because when I tell you, China, and you nailed it, Davis, trying to destroy us from within, look how much crap they've done in the past 4 years, and they've gotten away with it, right? Remember we reported they were flying spy balloons all over the United States, and Joe Biden didn't say shit.
Well, we shot it down after it had already crossed and completed its mission, and then it was safely over the seas, so we could shoot it down. But really, it was a balloon and a satellite. If they shot it over the rural farmlands of Montana, I don't think there would be any impact.
Rob, 100% correct. And they're like, yeah, because we don't know what's in it. We're gonna no. You know exactly what's in it, and you know what they're doing. They're recording everything for like a preset plan or an attack, which I think they're going to be doing. What
do you remember? There was also when there was a bunch of the Chinese. What a weird memory hole that went down. There were all of these Chinese spy balloons that were being seen above the skies of the United States, and there were F-15 pilots that were being sent out and shooting them down, or F-16 pilots. And then there was one that was shot down over one of the lakes in Michigan, one of the Great Lakes, Lake Superior, Erie, whatever. And they had footage from the plane that shot it down, but they refused to release what they shot down. They refused to release the coverage of what it was that they So they had footage from the plane that they didn't release, and they also didn't release any information regarding what they actually shot down. Why would you hide that?
Well, yeah.
Why would you hide something that was over the United States of America, was shot down by our government, and you're not going to tell us what it is?
Well, and by the way, besides the balloons, this is how much they can do whatever they want. They've bought land all across the country. I think Bill Gates and them are like the top 2, like buying farm. By the way,
near military bases.
Near military bases, bro. At Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana, that's a nuclear missile base. You're letting them buy land, and then they can unleash a global pandemic on the world, killing millions of Americans and millions abroad. Nothing happens to them. 0. Okay? And I'm telling you guys right now, I have 2 questions, like I said. What's the vetting process? What's the vetting?
None.
There is none.
No, it's not.
There's no vetting process.
Well, it's even tougher than that. I mean, you wonder to what degree the government's actually in collusion with Chinese interests, but it's if anybody doesn't appreciate that it's an outright war of the CCP against Western democracies. You have the fentanyl that's coming in over the border that's originating in China. You have the TikTok, which is the psychological warfare, indoctrinating a generation, basically indoctrinating a generation of Americans to sterilize themselves, while the TikTok in China, from what I understand, is wildly different and actually mildly healthy. It's overt war, and it's a long-term war. I forget who gave the anecdote, but he said, and I forget who the politician was, but they asked a Chinese Communist Party politician about the French Revolution. Something about like the idea being, we'll tell you how it works out, in the long run. How did the French Revolution turn out? It's still too early to tell.
Yeah.
China as a nation is playing a long game in terms of global domination.
No bullet shot.
And right now, no bullet shot. And it's slow infiltration and degradation of competing powers.
Mm-hmm. I sent Connor this. Connor, could you pull this up? We talked about the John Cena thing. The best thing about the John Cena apology is that John Cena had to apologize in Mandarin to Chinese audience members after calling Taiwan a country. Here's the article. This from MSNBC. But then go to the next slide, if you could. This is a description from Wikipedia. Did you not get the Wikipedia?
Oh,
it's in there.
Okay. Read it, Rob.
Wikipedia describes. Hold on, let me pull it up.
Go ahead.
Wikipedia describes Taiwan. Taiwan, officially the Republic of China, is a country in East Asia.
Yeah.
So he's apologizing for defining Taiwan as a country, but Taiwan is defined as a country. And then the other thing that I sent quickly was the Chinese spy balloon. Just so we don't get memory hold on this was a Politico article. It came out February 12th of 2023. The U.S. military shot down an unidentified object flying over Michigan on Sunday, making it the fourth airborne object down by American forces in just over a week. Defense officials on Sunday night declined to identify what the objects shot down over the weekend might be, raising questions over the threat the objects could have represented to civilians across North America. So we apologize to China. You know who the second largest debt owner of the United States is?
China?
It's China. Japan is number one. They have $1 trillion. They own $1 trillion in our debt. 1.1 trillion Japan owns, but China owns 859.4 billion, or 4 rounds of Ukraine funding from the United States.
Yeah,
that's why we're their bitch. We owe them money. We owe them money. We allow them to infiltrate our colleges. They've infiltrated our youth with TikTok. And Dave brought up a great point. The TikTok algorithms in China compared to the ones that are here that my son looks at when he's on TikTok are completely different. It's idiots eating Tide Pods here, and over there it's academics.
Yeah, and I mean, Rob, great point from both of you. And think about it from a war standpoint. Not one bullet shot, but you nailed it. Fentanyl is killing hundreds and thousands of people a year.
Young fighting age.
And dude, listen, hats off to these sons of bitches. Not only are they doing that, then you're talking about TikTok. They're making us, the youth, so weak. There's so much gay shit happening in the military. We are so soft. Bro, if they invaded, I think for every one soldier we have, they have 20. If it was a ground invasion right now, we'd be cooked. There'd be guys making like TikTok videos like, I'm a soldier, pow. And then the CCP is here. Yeah, pow, pow. Like, no, you need to pick up your real gun, Stanley. Like, it's unbelievable. And by the way, they own Joe Biden. Let's not even go to the Joe Biden, Hunter Biden relationship. Hold on. He is the most corrupt, owned son of a bitch president of all of them, all right? He drives me freaking nuts. But guys, this isn't the first time that this Chinese spy shit has happened. You guys remember Eric Swalwell?
Yeah.
The horny-ass congressman from California? He was banging a Chinese spy named Fang Fang. So he was getting that Fang Fang from Fang Fang. Nothing really happened about it. People try to clown him on the Congress floor. Nothing came about it, but he did. Dianne Feinstein, she had a Chinese spy who worked as a personal driver for 20 years while she served as a senior member of the Senate Intelligence Committee. Guys, think about, I mean, it's possible, it's feasible that people have died because of this spying on these freaking Democrats.
Who had the driver? I'm trying to.
Dianne Feinstein.
Dianne Feinstein, because now I'm thinking, Swallow was doing bang bang with Fang Fang. Was Dianne Feinstein also knocking boots with her driver? Like that visual.
Dude, by the way, she might have, but that spy reportedly provided political intelligence back to China. And let's play both sides. Mitch McConnell, while not directly linked to a spy within his staff, there have been concerns and reports about Mitch McConnell's connections to his wife, Elaine Chao, whose family business has significant ties to the Chinese government. And Loretta Sanchez, a former congressman from California, was reportedly targeted by a Chinese spy. I am sick and tired of China. And let me say this. Saying that doesn't mean I hate Chinese people. So if you're going to play that game, take it somewhere else. But I'm sick and tired of them owning our assets, from our celebrities and our presidents worshiping them. When they go to California, Gavin Newsom cleans up the streets.
For the first time in 20 years.
For the first time in 20 years, I didn't see one American flag. It was all Chinese flags. Oh, if I was there, I would have ripped every single one of them down. You guys know how I feel? Dude, I'm sick and tired of it because, Dave, that war that you're talking about is escalating and escalating and escalating. What's going to be the kill shot? COVID, to me, was a kill shot. My opinion, I think the relationship with the deep state in China was like, yo, we don't want this guy to win. What are we going to do? Hey, guess what? We own a lab. Why don't we just have it leak? And that's why I believe, because nobody's been held accountable. Even till today, they're like this. The lab leak theory might be real. No. What are we playing games for? And I think, Humberto, come September 10th, when Kamala gets wrecked, gets freaking destroyed, the people that are going to help the government not let Trump win, I think it's going to be China. That's my personal opinion.
Well, Vinny, and you brought a good point about how these people work. I do a lot of reading on China because I think it's interesting. Yeah. The way they think about time and the way they plan things is completely different. For example, the fentanyl thing.
Yeah.
They call the last century the century of humiliation. Okay. All right? And that's part of the Opium Wars.
Okay.
Basically, the British went there. They got everyone addicted to opium.
Yep.
And this is payback. I mean, this is a century later, and they're doing payback with America by pumping the fentanyl into America. Like, these people, they plan ahead. Like, that's why they don't need to shoot a single bullet. It doesn't need to get hot because they have plans for the next 200 years. Matter of fact, the Chinese government has a 300-year plan. We, as you know, we're in a new continent. We're a new country, like in the grand scheme of time. Yeah. So we can only plan to 2 years, 4 years, 5 years. Like a big plan would be a 10-year plan. But these people are planning in centuries, Vinny. I know. And if you have someone planning in centuries when you're planning in 4-year time, you have no chance. No chance. That's why it appears magical. It appears they're in the government, but their plan is way longer than
they're playing
ours.
Chess. We're just playing checkers.
We're playing checkers, so we're cooked. But listen, I'm telling you right now, I think it should be a ban. And listen, I'm sorry. Well, a few apples ruined the bunch. Your Chinese counterparts, Linda and her husband, ruined it for everybody. And the guys, this is not the first time. I would just put an end to it. I'd be like, no more of this working for the government.
The problem is, as a result of abortion policies, as a result of sterilization of children, as a result of cost of living, Americans aren't having enough children anymore. And so now, naturally, the solution is immigration from various countries, as if that's not part of the plan to divide and conquer. If that were.
Oh, I agree 100%. So, guys, and again, if I was 007, Linda would have been finito.
Chopstick.
It would have been a movie.
Vinny's got some weird fetishes
I would have laid like a nice set of chopsticks, and people would have walked in like, oh, it was 007. All right, guys, moving on. Next story. Rob, Cardi B did a maternity shoot in front of some pedophilia artwork. What the hell was going on?
Well, yeah, I want to ask you guys, do you guys find pedophilia funny?
Not at all.
No,
absolutely.
Pedophile, you get off on.
Funny. I don't like saying the word, but sometimes with what's going on in the news, it's coming out a lot more often.
Like Rob, we've been having a bunch of talks on which sword would you die on, and what. God is my number one. My family is number two, and number three is children. And every time, like you said, I hear that word, I would die to protect kids when it comes to that type of stuff, and I don't think it's funny at all.
How about the other foreigners on the panel? You guys from other countries? Pedophilia funny in Australia or whatever land you're from?
Wood chipper.
Yeah.
That's what we do there.
The pedophiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. They should put that on TV. I'd watch that. Hey, we're going to... It should be like a reality show. The audience gets to choose how we kill the pedophiles.
Rob,
America votes. It's like American Idol, but with death to pedophiles.
To wood chip a predator.
Well, I literally don't understand how anyone who's been convicted of that crime is able to leave without being castrated. Like, that should be the only condition upon which you're able to re-enter
Connor
society
came up with a really good
if
idea
you're castrated.
Yeah, Connor came up with a really good idea for a TV show. What? It's called Alien versus Predator.
Yeah.
So basically, we get the legal immigrants to hunt predators.
Oh, and if they catch them,
how good
if they catch 10 of them, then they get a green card. Oh, winning.
Yeah, until Trump comes in office and then sends them all out.
Yeah, that's so funny.
All right, well, the reason I bring this up, obviously pedophilia not funny, but Cardi B's defense of a weird maternity photo was that she usually jokes about things, and this was not one of them, but we'll get to the actual explanation. Let's go to the news story first. This came out from BuzzFeed over the weekend. Fans noticed that the word pedophile is in the background of Cardi B's maternity photo shoot. Here, let's take a look at the photo. Not just one photo, but two photos. It's hard to see from here, but you can see home sticks, right, in the background where that's spray painted. On top of that, pedophile or pedophilia is spray painted in white. You may not be able to see it here, but trust me, when you look on Instagram, you can clearly see.
So it's like subliminally.
Oh, I see.
I see it.
Screen.
Oh no, I see it. I see it.
What is the yellow? The yellow says what? Horse?
Homesick.
Homesick, and then on top of that, pedophile. Pedophilia. And it's not just
with her own baby in her belly. She's doing this.
Pedophile.
Yeah. This is the artist that is known for such magnificent hits as Wet Ass Pussy. So she is, obviously all about class. Not just one photo, though. This is clearly not an accident. Let's go to the next slide. multiple photos of her in front of the word pedophile with her unborn child. Now, I'm not one of those people that's into symbolics. I know that we've discussed it.
Symbolism?
Yeah, I've never bought into the whole, hey, they're trying to subliminally message you with weird numbers during football games or anything like that.
You don't, Rob.
No,
you don't.
It's fun to listen to, but do I actually give any credence to it? No.
Okay.
But this I just don't understand.
Well, this is not symbolism. This is literal. I mean, it's the exact opposite of symbolism. Symbolism is like displaying something by not referencing it exactly.
Yeah.
This is just literal. This is pedophile. I mean, that's literally the word. I've never seen the movie, but I've read the description of the movie, a Serbian film. Has anybody ever heard of it?
Yeah.
I heard the description.
Okay, so it's a horrible movie. I've never seen it. Funny thing is, at a movie store in Montreal back in the day, the guy's like, "You want to see a movie? Check out a Serbian film." I was like, this was back when VHS. I declined to rent it, but there's a description of a scene in it where it's literal.
Baby grape.
Yeah, and human sacrifice, and I look at that. And I don't buy into these things, but there's no other way to view that.
No,
it's like her displaying to the world, I am preparing to sacrifice my child to these devious interests of the world. I'm displaying it for the world to see.
Yeah, like knowingly or not, whoever's behind it, whoever's in charge of it, knows. Like every time they do that in games or the movie and stuff like that, Rob, where they go like this. Well, or like the Balenciaga, and they're like, well, we hired the guy. We didn't know. We just thought it was art. That's the shit. That's that subliminal shit that you're talking about. Like when you see Ice Spice doing demon things with an upside down cross, you're like, wait a minute, that's not by accident.
But I think that also the Balenciaga thing wasn't that subliminal either. I think that what's happened is over time, these elites have become more and more brazen and more, they just think that we're stupid at the end of the day, or they're testing the limits of how far they can push things.
Well, we did make wet ass pussy a hit, so are we not dumb?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to ask that question. You know how many followers this woman has on Instagram? 138 million. So there's 138 million people that hang on her every post and wait to see what Cardi B says about things. When you ask, are we dumb? Yeah, we're fucking retarded as a civilization at this point.
Yeah, go on. Why don't you finish?
A lot of people, for sure. But when you say that, is it symbolism? Is it not symbolism? Like, when you look at that Balenciaga thing, dude, that was apparent to anybody who has half a brain cell that was disgusting. It was little children in bondage gear. Yeah, there was some symbolism in the background. If you looked at some of the book titles that were displayed on the set, they were actually books about pedophilia and very disturbing things, which literally only just took a few seconds of research. But seeing children in bondage gear, that should have been enough. That's not subliminal. It's sick. It's disgusting.
Well, I've never seen the photos before, but it's just them holding up. If you could shoot to me. I mean,
they're in bondage.
They're young kids with holding stuffed animals in bondage.
Yeah, and they're like, well, and you know what they said, Rob? It's just art. Just like in Target, when they're selling the stuff for the trans things for boys that tuck their
friendly.
It's like what? Dude, there's no other explanation for just evil and whoever's in charge of that, Rob, because I know you're going to find out, you're going to get us to who did it and why.
Well, so the point is that her, even more atrocious than the photographs, are Cardi B's bullshit denialism of there actually being what we're discussing. Take a look at her explanation as to why she is photographed with her maternity, for her maternity photos, with her unborn child in front of the word pedophile. Take a look at this. This is her tweet. First of all, we literally picked a random street because paparazzi was hounding us everywhere. This was supposed to be my original first picture, and we had to edit the photos in minutes because the shoot got leaked. Didn't even have time to go over every detail because people were busy trying to expose my pregnancy as an aha moment. Second, always with the shits, but I'm not using my maternity shoot to be funny. Are you dumb? So are you saying pedophilia is funny? Pedophiles are funny? What about the topic of, but on the topic of pedophilia and pedophiles, what about it is funny? Because her defense is, I'm on the shits, I like to joke around about things, but I wouldn't use my maternity photo as a topic to joke about. So are you saying in this post that pedophilia is funny? And then second, I've had children. We've done maternity photos. My wife is not a celebrity. Do you understand the amount of planning that goes into these things?
Of course.
I'm hiring a photographer off Facebook Marketplace, and the woman is going down, and we're analyzing days before. We're going down and looking at sunsets at different beaches and seeing what setting is going to be the best one. The amount of thought that goes into these things, it's not as simple as I pulled up to a garage, the paparazzi were hounding, what are you, fucking Princess Diana? You fucking bullshit artist. This is all bullshit. You intentionally did this to be outrageous, but to me, there's nothing funny about pedophilia. Taking a child's innocence is the most disgusting thing that a human can do outside of taking someone's life. And for you to sit here and make a joke about it or even to post a photo of yourself in front of it with your unborn child is gross. And the fact that this woman makes a living doing this, and we'll play the fucking disgusting videos of her talking about drugging and robbing men. And this is the woman that sits down and interviews Joe Biden during the 2020 campaign. This is the person that people are looking to now and going, oh, she's turned her back on Biden. Now she's a Trump supporter. This is the person anybody gives a crap about? Cardi B? That blows my mind.
What do you say,
Hold on. I don't understand her explanation. Is her explanation that was a random backdrop that they decided to do the shoot in front of?
The paparazzi was stalking them, so they were trying to do a photo maternity shoot, and so they were in a rush to get this done, and that's where they decided to set up. And because they were in a rush, they didn't have a chance to go back and look at the photos and edit out the word pedophile in the background. You're telling me those photos weren't touched up, that there wasn't somebody making Cardi B's makeup look great in those photos, removing stretch marks,
bring it back up.
Filters on?
Yeah,
bring it back up. Just for a second, because if I'm being something of a sleuth, I'm wondering if that graffiti was not new or that looks like a set. It doesn't look like whatever. Maybe she says she's on the street and they just randomly picked that spot, didn't notice it, and they snapped the pictures real quick, like never noticed it and published it.
Well, like, what are the odds, dude? What are
the
odds?
odds are nil.
The hot pedophile is on a photo, and all we hear about this industry, about these elites, about these rich, disgusting demons is pedophilia, bro. It's like we cannot hide from it. And I'm telling you, anything that has to do with this, Rob, I want you to sleep comfortable at night knowing that in the Bible, Matthew chapter 18 verse 6, God explicitly says, if you make one of these stumble who believe in me, it's better for you to tie a millstone around your neck and throw yourself into the ocean. Kill yourself, because the end for you, you don't belong.
And now that the picture is up, I know you guys didn't want to go full schizo. I want to go full schizo. Can we bring the picture back up?
Bring the picture back up.
Like, she's sitting on a Suzuki Hayabusa.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's a very powerful bike.
Yeah.
That bike does 200 miles per hour. She's sitting there, no helmet, belly exposed, on a killing machine. Like the guys that buy this bike, they kill themselves all the time. So this could also be like an abortion promotion.
If she falls off, it's not a kickstand. It's that kickstand.
Yeah.
By the way, and I've dropped a bike before. That's coming down. And
I think we should have settled rules. First of all, sorry, Rob, but I find pregnancy reveals, I find it tacky as in general. Yeah. And there should be set rules.
You don't have kids.
It should be a beach.
Wait, hold on. You don't have kids. How can you comment on you think it's tacky for someone else to enjoy and celebrate a very precious moment in their lives?
Same with gender reveals. I hate them as well. That's my opinion.
Humberto hates everything, though.
Well, what if your wife says,
if you're gonna do one, it needs to be at a beach, at a lake, or in a garden. That's acceptable.
Not in the streets of New York.
Not in the streets of New York.
Or on a set, create a set. I mean, listen, with all the effort that Rob even put in with his, think about the money, resources that she has available. She could have recreated this exact set.
I'm going out on a limb. I'm going to say that is either a set or it was basically converted into a set for the purposes of that shoot. Nothing about that was an accident. If it were an accident and I'm Cardi B, I'm firing every single person that had to do with that. I'm asking for the deletion. I'm not joking about it. And potentially, seeking charges. And I'm disavowing it in the most unequivocal terms. Like, how dare you exploit me and expose me to that? I'm not saying, it was just an accident. Everyone go on. Well, Bullshit. At some point, everybody knew what was going on, and I think it was done right from the beginning, and I don't believe her excuse
100%.
whatsoever.
Nothing says pregnancy there. Nothing says motherhood there. She's in a powerful bike sitting there with pedophilia in the back.
Imagine showing that to your kids. Oh, do you want to see pictures from your baby, from my baby shower, from the images?
Yeah, by the way, that's me. That's the pedophile spray paint. Oh, and by the way, there's a homeless guy shitting 2 feet away from us because we're in, where is she, New York, Rob?
Alleging to be in an alleyway in New York.
Go ahead, Rob, because I know you want to keep going.
Well, I just want to show just some of Cardi B's. I mean, this is the woman that America has made a celebrity, and now She tours the country performing her terrible music for millions of people to suffer through. This is her prior to, I guess, right after becoming famous, but prior to, superstardom that she currently enjoys today. This is where she talks about being a stripper in her younger years and drugging and robbing men and bragging about it.
Okay, let's hear it.
I paid over $50,000 in studio time because you gotta pay good engineers, you gotta go to a good studio, and you gotta put in that bread. I did it with my money. So for a bitch to say that I don't motherfucking deserve it because I don't put in no fucking work, now that's when I feel like niggas is bugging. Because I did it myself. Niggas must have forgot, my nigga, the shit that I did to motherfucking survive. Like, I had to go straight. I had to go, oh yeah, you wanna fuck me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I drug niggas up and I rob them. That's what I used to do.
Possessed.
Nothing
Look at the
was
eyes.
fucking happening to me, my nigga. Nothing.
If you could pause the video, but I'd like to break down what she just said because she doesn't really speak English.
Please translate.
She said that she would like to, when guys at the club would want to fuck her, she would take them back to a hotel, drug them, and rob them. And it's not the first time that she's made this admittance, so it's not like this is some type of story that she's fabricated and she only said one time. Here she is on an X Spaces talking about drugging and robbing men.
Go ahead.
Why y'all keep writing Cardi, whatever, rob man, whatever crap? So what? I'll do it again, bitch. I don't give a fuck. I don't feel bad. Y'all know how I don't feel bad for no niggas.
Sure.
Feel bad for no niggas.
Is she allowed use
I'll
the
do
word?
it fuck again.
I'm not allowed. But yes, she
can I say, and piggyback off Rob, she wasn't at a nightclub. She's at a strip club, stripping, taking these guys, drugging them, and robbing them. And this is America. She is one of the most famous artists in the world.
Here's what she says about, imagine you're dating this
woman,
awful piece of shit, and you cheat on her. I couldn't imagine why you'd want to. Yeah. I mean, imagine having to talk to that person day in and day out. Here's what she would do if she found out that one of her lovers cheated on her. Go ahead, Jake or Connor.
Cheat on me? I'll be like, I'm gonna take him out. We're gonna get drunk. I'm gonna get him all perked up and everything. We're gonna have a good time. Get him super twisted. Then bring a bitch around. We're gonna have a threesome. And when he wake up, he gonna be like, what the fuck? Yeah, because the bitch was a tranny. I'm be like, yup, we had a threesome with a tranny. Yup, a tranny suck your dick. You don't gotta fuck another nigga to get.
Now I gotta ask you, Vinny. You've worked in the entertainment industry as a person that is an entertainer. If you were to admit that you drugged and robbed women multiple times on camera and then said that you would drug and rape, she was admitting to drugging and graping a man with a tranny. Imagine you said that about doing that to a woman. Do you think that would be a career positive or a career negative?
I don't know, Rob, because I'd be in prison answering the question. Because the moment you said I made it to where I was because I would take girls, drug them, have sex with them, and rob them, you would never hear from me ever again. I'd be gone.
I mean, this is also then your career would end. Somehow this gave Cardi B a career boost because Cardi B then interviews Joe Biden during his presidential campaign in 2020. Somehow nobody seemed to give a shit that this woman was blatantly admitting to drugging and robbing men. And here she is interviewing Joe Biden.
You know what I'm saying?
You're telling me? I got 4 kids, 5 grandkids. Come on. I'm an expert.
I just wanted you guys to see that actually happened.
Is he including the grandchild that he refused to recognize in that count? Or
I don't think
that's a good question.
I don't know.
think so.
This just frustrates me so much because you look at the way that men are treated by comparison, right? You gave the example of Vinny. When you look at people like Russell Brand, how he was demonized with absolutely no substantiated evidence. You look at somebody like Andrew Tate, where the purported victims have literally come out and said, we are not victims. And yet this woman is out here admitting it, boasting about it to some degree, and she's pedestalized. It just says so much about the state of our society and the way women are treated versus men. And it's sick. I hate feminism. Fuck feminism.
No, I love it. Yes, Amy's getting fucking hot.
By
Sorry,
the way,
no
criminal charges. I just did some research. I think she's a psyop. Like her, Megan Thee Stallion, Sexy Red, and everything.
Taylor Swift?
No, Taylor Swift is a little bit more nuanced. Like she
But
had
still a psyop.
But she still had a little bit of talent. But they're bringing all these women that can barely string a sentence, and they're making everyone dumber and everyone worse. It's unbelievable.
Did you say Sexy Red?
Bro, Catch Me Outside. All this.
How much that girl makes on OnlyFans? It's crazy.
By the way, she was on there young as shit. And by the way, there's rumors about all these young rappers and stuff. She was hooking up underage with all these people, and nobody said anything. Weird. Pedophilia.
$50 million that woman made from being, honestly, just being a disgusting person talking to her mother the way that she did, and it catapulted her to fame. She then pivoted that fame and got into porno, and now she's worth $50 million. And that's those are the people that we as Americans, somehow we are
taught to idolize.
But we're not only idolizing, but we're paying for it, because OnlyFans is something that these people are paying out of their pocket. It's not like, hey, I'm buying Star Magazine and I'm seeing this person. These people are directly paying these people up to the tune of $50 million to look at their pervert photos.
It's at least very fitting that it was Joe Biden who allegedly showered with his daughter, sniffs kids, that's doing an interview with someone who admits to drugging and raping and engages in pedophile promotion.
Very good point. What else, Rob?
No, that's it. I appreciate you guys listening. I just think it's unfortunately, I don't find pedophilia or child molestation, maybe I'm the weirdo, or child pornography. I don't find any of those laughing matters. So for her to try and group this in as, I'm usually one that jokes about shit, why would I make a joke about my maternity photos? Well, that makes me believe that what you're saying is that pedophilia is something that's funny to you. And to me, it's not, especially because I know that you have kids. Look at how innocent those kids are. Depriving a child of that innocence, that's what happens when these evil human beings do these things. They deprive these children of a happy, normal life. And I can't, I look at my 5-year-old and I go, my job is to protect you from these scumbags. And it scares me that this evil exists and it's celebrated.
And mainstream, by the way, you want to get really black-pilled? Go look at the list of pedophile promotion agencies or pedophile normalizing agencies. They actually exist. You can see the speeches out there. People want to portray it as a mental illness that needs sympathy and understanding and normalization to the point of
minor attracted persons. That's why they gave them an acronym for it to make it politically correct thing to talk about.
Know that YouTube wanted to enforce not saying the word anymore and using maps instead. Like Twitter, until Elon Musk didn't buy it, there wasn't a way to report CP on the platform.
Wow.
Like you will click report the post, violence, whatever, and there wasn't one like child abuse. Like every single platform should have the first thing on the list should be to report child pornography. It should be the first thing.
Dude.
And most of them, even Facebook, till this day, try to report it. Just click on the thing and try to report it.
At the risk of asking the very stupid question and displaying some ignorance of mine, who is the OnlyFans person you were talking about?
Catch Me Outside. How about that?
Bad Babby.
Bad Barbie, whatever.
Barbie, baby.
This girl.
Danielle
I'm not looking at her OnlyFans. I want to be clear. I'm just showing you a page 6
She was a girl on Dr. Phil, the white girl that's just, catch me out. She was trying to fight the audience and stuff.
Well, she was being disrespectful to her mother, and that's why I took off, because she was like, oh, catch me outside. How about that?
I did a segment on this woman when I did a video about OnlyFans, and what's crazy is the night before her 18th birthday, she did a mass promotion for her OnlyFans. So when she was still 17, the night she was about to turn 18 so that she could stockpile a bunch of people who wanted to subscribe. And then as soon as she turned 18, public.
That's so different, though. I hate to be that guy, but Howard Stern had a countdown to when the Olsen twins turned 18.
Yeah,
he had an unhealthy,
disgusting piece of
he had
shit.
an unhealthy obsession with the other one. Her name had an M in it. Millie
Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown. He had an unhealthy obsession with Millie Bobby Brown.
But you look at, and Vinny,
take your time.
You talk about Hollywood and the demons that work there and live there. Look at the people that have come out of Hollywood that have been traumatized by that industry. And when you talk about, and it's so sad because you can look at Amanda Bynes and laugh at her odd appearance, but I look at that person, I go, there's a deeply troubled person who has probably been put through hell that I will never understand, and the world mocks and laughs at her.
Yeah.
They did the same thing to Britney Spears, and we talked about her last time, and then they locked her money up and wouldn't allow her access to it, and then they go, oh, look at this person acting crazy. You wonder why they're acting crazy. Look at the industry that they're in.
Yeah, look at the kids for the Nickelodeon thing that were like molested and
Well,
raped.
because
Those
Ariana
kids
Grande.
Ariana
The things
Grande,
they
all the
made
guys,
her
these
do.
people are cooked.
Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, and you look at the people
Yeah.
who leave Hollywood, like the Kevin Sorbos, the Kirk Camerons,
Yeah.
the Rick Moranis's, the James Woods, and the people who leave are the ones who can't put up with this demon sorcery.
And what's crazy is the people that go, this is enough. I got to get my kids and my family out of this. They're then demonized. Oh, what? You're a radical right extremist. You love Trump and you got to get out of California to go live in Tennessee. Like, no, it's just, this is crazy, this industry.
Yeah, but you know what though? God, I'm telling you guys right now, I always say it, God has they better come to atonement. They better freaking say that they're sorry or figure out a way to, in their hearts and in their souls, be genuinely sorry if you think like that or you act like that. Because God, I'm telling you guys, is not going to take it lightly. So we'll see. Anyway, moving on. Humberto, Brazil bans X. Great.
This segment is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Just joking. Yeah. No, it's not actually. But if you want to send me money, I take it. I'd be happy to take money. Okay, taking it off the screen. They're not paying for this.
Yeah.
All right. Brazilian full body ban.
Nice.
I know. I'm on fire today.
Love it.
Like, so instead of like talking about my favorite things about Brazil, like this lady right here drinking a beautiful caipirinha in a in a great beach in Brazil.
Can we show that?
Yeah, let's show this.
Is that AI or is that a real woman?
I don't even know anymore.
Let me see. No, she looks real.
She has the right fingers. Normally they have six fingers.
I don't even know. But that's what I should be talking about. But instead of that, I need to talk about this guy. Come on, Connor.
Which guy?
Hit it.
Come on, hit it.
Hit it. This guy.
Look at that view.
straight out of a horror movie. This
Straight
guy
out of a
eats your
horror
face
movie.
after you see it.
Like this Darth Vader looking motherfucker. I don't know. But he's going crazy. And they're calling him like a conservative judge.
Yeah, sure.
Basically, this guy right here, he got in trouble with my boy Elon Musk.
What's his name?
De Moraes.
Is the Alessandro de Moraes. I got the pronunciation right, and he ordered to ban X in Brazil because of misinformation, disinformation. There are two different things. Right-wing posts, they call it far-right posts, and doxing of police and other officials. Okay. So basically what he wanted to do is to grab someone from Twitter. Okay, this is how the whole court case came around. He wanted to have a representative from Twitter jailed. And Elon was like, hell no, you're not going to jail one of my guys. So they stopped operations there and they got everyone out.
Okay.
And as, they couldn't jail someone, straight to jail
Straight to
for having the platform running there. They decided to ban it. Okay. So, this obviously, and that's why I did the whole ExpressVPN joke.
Yeah.
This made everyone, start buying VPN. Like, mind you, X is one of the most popular platforms in Brazil. There's 22 million Brazilian users using the platform.
What does VPN do? Because I know the term, but I don't actually know what the actual software does.
Well, the software basically, like I'm accessing something. Okay, let's say I'm looking for Bad Baby's OnlyFans account.
Okay.
And I don't want my internet provider to know that I'm doing that hideous act. Okay, so it will mask your IP address, so it creates a tunnel, on the internet. So basically, anyone from outside, they just see traffic going back and forth, and it will mask whatever you're doing.
So you can still access it from your computer, but nobody's going to be able to track that you're accessing.
It's a computer on your computer from a different country specifically. So, for example, like the IP of that the people in Brazil are using is probably from the United States, which is therefore allowing them onto the platform.
It has a bunch of benefits. Like I grew up with a very heavy firewall because I grew up in the Middle East, and there, for example, in the country I grew up with, like porn is banned. Outright banned. You can't access porn.
You have to go off imagination.
And I was a teenager in that time.
National Geographic magazine.
I don't know if this crime will if this crime will prescribe. I was a very horny teenager in that time, and
nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
I don't know how to describe this.
I think the stereotypical joke is the Sears catalog over the Nat Geo. But
you would look at camels and you'd be like,
next.
Like how banned was it though? Like magazines, like VHS, there was no porn nowhere.
No porn whatsoever, no suggestive content whatsoever. Like if you went on to like xsomething.com, I'm not going to make any more free promotions. You go there and it will come up the ISP, like the internet service provider, go like, this content is blocked in the UAE. That's what it is. Okay. Wow. So a lot of people in countries that ban, like certain information like China or like porn or like certain platforms, they will access VPNs. Now, these people not only banned Twitter, they also passed a law to ban the VPNs. So for every time they catch you using a VPN, they're talking about a fine between $8,000 and $16,000. Wow. Mind you that the GDP of Brazil is around $8,000. So basically, they're charging you whatever the average Brazilian makes for using a VPN.
Oh, wow.
Now, on the other hand, Elon Musk doesn't only own Twitter, he also owns, Starlink. So that put the Brazilian government in a bind because it's really hard to ban things. Like if you think about maximum security prisons, they still get drugs in there.
Oh, knives,
cigarettes, trannies, whatever it is.
Well, I've seen they have drones where people will operate the drones and fly the drones over the walls, and then they'll drop like weed and stuff to the guys.
So you can't really ban anything. So they saw themselves in a bind. Like, this guy is the owner of X. We want to ban X. But this guy also has, internet that we cannot ban. I mean, they're trying to work out how to ban payment processes, but they can't shoot satellites out of the sky. Maybe they can.
Yeah, you never know.
And if we go to the next news story, apparently after this came to light, Elon, he is backing down. This came in this morning. He's backing down from actually using Starlink, that it has unbanned the X service. Because ISP, this is why VPNs are important. ISPs, they can ban certain content. And this is a big problem because they do it all the time. Sometimes they outright ban some content, and sometimes they throttle some content.
So right now, X is banned. Like, you can't be on X in Brazil?
You can't be on X.
Did they say how long it's going to go for?
They will go as long as X complies to the request.
He's not going to. So people in Brazil are screwed.
I don't know if he's not going to. Until last night, I thought he was gonna, diamond hand and stay strong on this. But him backing down from the Starlink.
There were massive protests in the street, right? I'm not mistaken about that. I'm trying to find images now, but now I don't know if, what I thought I saw of news of protests in the street was actually like recycled images from the Bolsonaro protests.
I also did the search for it, and most of them was, I was kind of involved in the Brazilians' protest after they allegedly stole the election from Jair Bolsonaro. Those were the massive protests, and most images and videos that I saw, they were from 2020, 2022. So they're not from now.
Okay.
And funny how you say that. Well, this is the current president of Brazil, Lula da Silva. So you guys need to know that this banning is not just Brazil. Like, if they could get away, and they've done it in the United States. Like, if you remember the Hunter Biden laptop.
Yeah.
That got banned everywhere. And recently, Mark Zuckerberg came clean that the agencies came to him and they were like, hey, you need to ban this. You need to delete this.
Yeah. You mean election cheating?
I won't say cheating.
What election interference? You interfered with people getting information that could sway their vote. And that is by definition cheating, and they helped them win. And by the way, the reason that he wrote that letter is because Trump might win, and Trump's going to hold all these scumbags accountable. By the way, talking about child sexual exploitation, Mark Zuckerberg's been in freaking Congress this year because they're accessing people get access to child sexual images. I don't even want to say the bad word.
There was literally on Instagram, they found a bunch of accounts that were essentially created. These young girls, they look like mostly like young European girls, where literally this was a breeding ground, a meeting ground for different predators across Instagram to come. And within the comments, you can see them using the code words to make different orders, whether that be for pictures, to exchange content with other pedophiles on the platform, and even to meet with a child. This was all uncovered on that platform, and no repercussions for Mark Zuckerberg.
Was it reminiscent of that email with Podesta about the handkerchief with a map on it after they had eaten cheese pizza? And
by the way,
do you want our handkerchief back?
Yeah, by the way, nothing this year. It's normal to have hundreds of pizzas delivered to the White House at 4 a.m. But go ahead, Rob, what were you going to say?
Well, I just wanted to give back to the Hunter Biden, the actual definition of election interference generally refers to efforts to change the outcome of an election.
AKA cheating. You're cheating.
And then 8 in 10 people say that they believe that the Hunter Biden cover-up impacted the results of the 2020 election.
Weird.
So 80% of people that were polled, that doesn't mean that 80% of people would have voted differently, but 80% of people believe that the outcome of the election was affected by that.
Weird.
I won't say it, but you might be onto something because I want to go back to Brazil one day because the beaches are beautiful.
Yeah.
The women are beautiful, great weather, but it is what it is. And now there's 3 big lessons that we need to learn here in America. First of all, if they can get away with like banning and censoring, they will do it. In Brazil, what happened, and this is the second lesson, like they're ruling the country by their
legislation.
The judicial branch.
The judicial branch. And that's what they want to do here. Because once the judicial branch, and this happens in a lot of like South American countries, that they pack the court and then they rule by decree. They do whatever they freaking want. And this guy's been doing whatever he wants for years, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the first lesson. They will ban anything. Second lesson, if you let these guys take over, justice, you're cooked. And the third thing is that they're all into this. Like in the previous picture, you can see that you had Kerry, you had Biden, you had Bernie Sanders, all meeting with Lula, who's a criminal. He was literally a criminal. He was literally in jail. But everyone was supporting him to get to the presidency because he wasn't Jair Bolsonaro. These people are willing to go out of their way to ban the far right, but they won't do anything about child predators. So just to put it in perspective.
FYI.
And this is a beautiful image after the Brazilian election. This is one of the biggest protests in the history of the world when they got robbed by the Brazilian electors. And this is what they're trying to ban.
Can you show that? Show this video?
This is what they're trying to ban. They're trying to ban people that are becoming aware of how hard they're getting.
But you know I love this. The people need to understand that the power lies within them, not in the government, not in anything. It's we the people. No matter who you are, no matter what country you're from, if we bind together, look at that, bro. Look at that. Look at the forces. I'm telling you right now, that is a force to be reckoned with. They're not armed. They're just it's numbers. Freaking scream, bro. And like, you look at that, dude. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's huge.
But where do you think these people are learning this information to then gather together in the first place? Like, I'm sure
Telegram,
one, and then we've seen the attack on that. X for sure. Like Rob said in the last episode, X is like one of the last bastions of free speech that we even have in the United States, and we have a First Amendment codifying that actual right. Like, how do you think it is for people in these countries that don't have any such amendment?
Well, we gotta shout out Rumble as well, because they came after Rumble before they went after Telegram, and they had to withdraw their activities from France. They had to withdraw their activities from Brazil because these demands were being made of Rumble. But Rumble doesn't have the user base or the star power of Musk. So when they say we're going to ban Twitter or X in Brazil, then you get some pushback from the civilian population. Rumble was not yet there. But this war has been going on for a while, and Rumble has been fighting it. Twitter is now all in, because if Kamala gets elected, we'll talk about this in my segment, but they're bringing that commie crap to America.
May I plug something real quick?
Plug it, Rob.
May 10th of 2024, the PBD podcast did an episode. It was called Brazil Uncensored. It featured Patrick and 3 very prominent Brazilian politicians, including Bolsonaro's son.
Yep.
It's actually, if you go on Twitter or X and search Brazil corruption, it brings up the entire episode. And in the episode, we talk about how do you pronounce it?
Alessandro de Morales.
Yes.
Nice.
We like a deep dive with 3 guys who are political refugees.
Yeah,
they were
prosecuted.
fleeing Brazil from this guy. And this is 5 months ago? 4 months ago?
Yeah, a couple months
4
ago.
months ago. And this is before the X ban, but Pat really gets into the censorship and what's going on in the totalitarian regime that is currently in place in Brazil. So if you want a deeper dive, go watch it. It's on the PBD podcast channel. It's also on X. Just search Brazilian corruption.
Got you.
But the thing is, as a fellow South American, like my country is like right next to it. Like, it's like having China next to you. Like, this is so insane that they're banning social media, they're banning speech, and they have a criminal as president. But Brazilian people, they're great people. They're strong. Shout out to our IT guy.
Oh, Esdras.
Best guy.
Best guy.
I love that guy, and he actually texted me this story, so we're doing it justice right now.
Oh yeah, and dude, and I mean, because dude, like, and Amy, I think you nailed it. Like, free speech. How do these people? Obviously, they're gonna find different avenues, but Elon Musk gave us spent and lost. I think the report came out. They lost in the transition, the acquisition. $34 billion loss just to give us the platform that we could talk and say and see whatever the hell we want. Good, the bad, and the ugly.
And shout out to Rumble too.
Value plunged 72%. It was $24 billion, but 72% he lost on the purchase of
it was Steve Bannon who said it, that Elon Musk didn't buy a company, he bought a crime scene, and it's been laid bare for everyone to see. But
wow. Okay. All right. Great story, Humberto. Next, Amy, Arlington. Memorial Cemetery. Trump was there. There's been a lot of controversy surrounding it. Please let us know what's going on.
Yeah, this is a crazy story. So let's preface by what happened for anybody who is unaware. 3 years ago, an ISIS suicide bomber launched a deliberate act of evil, a heinous attack outside of Kabul airport at Abbey Gate, which killed 13 service members and over 100 innocent Afghans as well. Jeez. So just over a week ago now, it was August 25th, Donald Trump was invited to Arlington Cemetery in Virginia to commemorate these fallen soldiers alongside all of their families by whom he was actually invited. So they invited him in the first place. And at one point, he was photographed and videotaped walking alongside Arlington's deputy chief of staff and laying a wreath on the tombstone of an unknown soldier, okay? And a lot of controversy has come out of this. Before we dive into that, though, I do want to read a statement from U.S. Army veteran Lucas O'Hara, who was also present during this event. And essentially what he stated was, I've witnessed over 75 wreath-laying ceremonies performed by politicians and conducted 524 funerals in this cemetery during the time I served in the Presidential Honor Guard for 3 years. O'Hara added, referring to Monday's wreath-laying as the most respectful and solemn ceremony I have ever seen. So Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, and the rest of the team that came to pay their respects did that tenfold. There were no speeches, no angles, no weird photo ops, just our elected officials and the 45th president respectfully and solemnly honoring the fallen and their families. So this was the statement that he made. But unfortunately, the mainstream media, the left, the establishment didn't quite see it this way. So Connor, if we could bring up the wall of negative headlines that we were able to see from all of these various different publications. So this is the way that they went ahead and framed it. Harris calls Trump's appearance at Arlington a political stunt that disrespected sacred ground. U.S. Army rebukes Trump campaign for incident at Arlington. Trump's Arlington stunt was even more offensive than we first thought. The headlines just go on and on and on. We also had John McCain's son come out and say that he will now vote Democrat.
Good.
Right? I mean, I don't think we needed his endorsement anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But so slams Trump for the Arlington visit. Like, this is just insane, the way the left is framing this. Now, Tulsi Gabbard, who was also present, she did come out in Donald Trump's defense. So we're going to go ahead and play that video. The reporter essentially asked her if she thought that the way the festivities went down were appropriate. Did Donald Trump do anything out of the ordinary, anything inappropriate? And so let's go ahead and see her.
You know, I checked with the campaign on this question, and they have exchanges with the officials at Arlington Cemetery. They were approved to bring a camera there to document this historic and momentous day that should not be forgotten by any American. And to have a former president there and joining these Gold Star families, I know President Trump wanted to share that with others, especially given the fact that President Biden and Harris, I heard, were invited by some of these family members. They not only didn't come, they didn't even respond to that invitation. And now to have Kamala Harris put this statement out yesterday saying that she stands with these families, she stands with the military and with veterans, you only have to look at the response that came from the Gold Star families of these 13 service members, of how offended they were by that statement, given she has not made any effort, not on that third anniversary or any other time, to call them directly to offer her condolences and even apologies for their decisions that led to the loss of their loved ones.
Amy, like just the fact that these, like, by the way, the media is anything that Trump does. Even something as beautiful as him going to pay respects from these Gold Star families, guys, who lost children from under the incompetence of Joe Biden's withdrawal from Afghanistan. They go there. They're paying. By the way, David, they asked him to come. They wanted these photos, and the fact that they called and asked Kamala, Kamala, and Joe Biden. Joe Biden was at a beach, and Kamala was how far, Rob?
4 miles away, so a total of 10, maybe 15 minutes due to traffic.
In her mansion,
From
sitting
Arlington.
around. I've been sick and tired. No matter what this guy does, bro, he could save the world from nuclear. They would say, yo, but you know what? I don't like the way his finger. Look how his finger hit the button. He was being racist.
He brought peace to the Middle East with the Abraham Accords, and then this guy is trying to destroy the world. And you're like, wait, what?
Rob, he crossed the demarcation zone with freaking Kim Jong-un, and shook his hand and walked over. How much more peace could this guy do?
No security detail, by the way.
No security.
They've got the FJB. Like, I'm thinking, is it FTB or FKH that they have to have? Because there's not. Everyone will figure out what the FTB stands for. In my mind, it's insidious. At first, I thought. I didn't think that they were invited by the family, so I thought maybe they got insulted that Trump was invited and they weren't invited, and so they're lashing out at Trump to demonize him was a form of shame that they didn't get invited. Then it was reported that they were invited.
They invited everybody,
and they said no, and then they still weaponized it. Now it's disgusting beyond disgusting because they are disrespecting, above and beyond being responsible for the murder of their family members, they're now disrespecting the surviving family members, military families, of having invited Trump and them, taken the pictures that they wanted to take. And, I mean, it's an insult all around. And then you get your Twitter asses who are saying, well, these family members of the fallen soldiers don't get to desecrate the Arlington cemetery with a photo op. It's the way to commemorate the loss that they suffered as a result of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and they victimize them yet again.
And how dare anyone tell these families how they should conduct themselves and how they should choose to honor their loved ones that they lost. There was actually a clip when I was researching this story initially, and I wish that I'd saved it at the time. I couldn't find it when I went back to look, but a CNN reporter actually badgered one of the mothers of one of these fallen soldiers, saying, what would you say to people who say that this is inappropriate?
Oh my God.
Go to hell is what I would say to them, and go to hell is what I would say to you. Not you, but you, the CNN.
And that's essentially what she said. She's like, none of them know what it's like to actually walk in my shoes. I lost a child under this administration, and Donald Trump was there to pay his respects. And so that's what I really want to dive into now. Let's go ahead and pull up a couple of clips of these families talking about how and why they invited Donald Trump in the first place. You can click back, Connor, actually. This is the first one.
Okay.
We invited both President Trump and the Biden-Harris administration, and we didn't hear back from the White House. We were happy to welcome President Trump to lay wreaths with all three of our families and some of our wounded from that day. And when he came to Section 60, it was at our request to spend time with our loved ones. There was not a press presence there. We privately took pictures among ourselves. And it was, a more celebratory feeling for that day because, we want to celebrate our loved ones, and it's very hard to find ways to do that at a cemetery. But they were very respectful. We didn't see any altercation. And really, we just want our loved ones to be honored and remembered in a positive way.
Dude, it makes you so emotional, like hearing her voice, like breaking like that. Like, how are you going to tell these families who lost somebody how they should choose to honor their loved ones?
What's crazy is the narrative still goes on that he disrespected the families. It's not like that interview was aired on OAN or Newsmax or Rumble, like a place where they could be like, well, that's, the right defending him. That was on CNN. So how do all of these news stories still continue to perpetuate this fabricated story that he disrespected the families when the same outlets that are reporting that he disrespected the families are interviewing the families and they're saying he was invited by us?
It just goes like which story gets the most attention. It's the initial lie that gets more attention and then the rectification of it. So I guarantee you, most people didn't even see that interview. They're just running now with the lie that Kamala Harris put out.
And what about when Trump was in? Somebody heard, just like the fake ass impeachment. Somebody heard that he talked on a phone call. What about that bullshit story when they were like, "Oh, Trump said these soldiers are veterans, are sons of bitches, are suckers and losers." Nobody gives a shit that it was fake. It's the initial blow. That story gets circulated, and you have losers, leftist Democrats repeating it and repeating and repeating. You have any idea how many fights and arguments I got over? Because people are like, "Well, you're a veteran. He said this about you." I go, "Where did he say it? Show me the audio and let me know that he said it." It's all bullshit. And it drives me crazy as a veteran because he's the only one, not Barack, not him, not Bush, not none of these assholes, give a shit as much as Trump. There's a video of him, and if you can, Connor, find it to show later because I'm going to get emotional. A soldier who was blown up. Donald Trump with Melania going to the hospital. This soldier stands up in pain just to shake Donald Trump's hand. And Donald Trump is there loving the guy and caring for him. You don't see that shit from Joe Biden. You don't see that shit from Kamala, from any of these assholes. And I'm sick and tired of this shit.
Yeah, you made a really great point on PBD podcast when you guys covered this story as well, Vinny, which is when you look at any service members, really in any capacity, even when it comes down to like civic service, like policemen, firemen, like how do you think those political parties are typically divided? Do you think we're mostly going to see more Republicans or more leftists and more Democrats who are serving? Like it speaks a lot to the mindset of the people.
How do you come back from this? Like this is not even left, right, whatever. Like the level of disrespect and disdain of these people about our service members. I was ignorant. I didn't know what a Gold Star family was. It's a tradition from World War I. That they used to display a banner, like it's a red, like white and red banner, and all the blue stars are the people that serve in the military, and then the blue stars, if the person died, it'd be replaced by a gold star. And how do you come back from this, Vinny? Like how anyone that served in the military, because everyone serves in the military, black, white, tall, Democrat, Republican. How do you come back from this? I don't understand. Like if Trump doesn't win, they don't allow him to win. Like how do you keep the people at bay from this level of disrespect? I don't know.
I got to read this. I'll read the tweet, not all of it because there's a lot of bad words in it. But Kamala Harris actually tweeted out, "As vice president, I've had the privilege of visiting Arlington National Cemetery several times. It's a solemn place, a place where we come together to honor the heroes, etc., etc. It's a no place for politics." She goes on to talk about some film. You don't use it for photo ops. I'm paraphrasing. Then Laura Loomer found a video of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris at the laying a wreath, if you can see it. And Laura Loomer had some choice words. I'll just say B instead of bitch when she says it. She says, "Hey, you stupid brain dead lying bitch. Isn't this you and brain-dead Joe Biden making a video of yourselves at Arlington National Cemetery? If you're not allowed to film, why are you posing for the cameras and all glammed up? You're a hypocrite and a liar. President Trump was asked to take the picture and invited by the families. They invited him. Their children died under your watch because of your botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, which you took credit for, you stupid bitch. You can't lie your way to the White House, you stupid bitch. Do you understand? You're a stupid bitch." I mean, but the we got the video there, so we can see the video footage. Don't believe Laura Loomer. Here's the video.
Which Biden is this? It's the one that's hair.
But you have to appreciate these servicemen, whether or not you want to get hyperbolic and say they were murdered by the Biden administration, they were murdered as a result of grotesque, negligent incompetence at best by the Biden administration. And then they victimized them a second time by saying, "You guys are desecrating the memory of your dead children and daughter-in-laws and son-in-laws. And you invited me, and I chose not to go. Not only did I choose not to go to insult you and disrespect you there, but then I vilified you afterwards, and now you're getting shit on Twitter because people are coming out and saying you desecrated the National Arlington Cemetery. These people are demonic, satanic, evil creatures.
I believe
so
it.
evil.
I'd go so far as to say she has no idea. I would say that she doesn't even know what Arlington National Cemetery is or that she was there, because how would you go and put out that statement knowing the significance of that moment and being there and being part of that ceremony? How do you forget that?
They
unless
lie.
You have no idea.
They know you're lying. You know they're lying, etc.
You know what? I disagree. Like that space is a space for politics. It's a space for bad politics, because bad politics, like the withdrawal from Afghanistan, added a lot of people to that cemetery. I think every war declaration, the president should sit there, look at the graves, and then sign it before they go fight all these wars that we don't need to fight.
Have you guys ever been to National Arlington?
I have, yes. Actually, I lived in Virginia briefly. I went on Memorial Day.
So I took my son one time. We did a day trip to D.C., and I wanted to go do all the sites. And that was the first one we hit, and it was so sombering to walk through because you just look, and it's acres of crosses. And it's like, these are the people that and I turned to my son, I go, these are the people that sacrificed everything so you can live the life that you live today. They paid the ultimate price. And for this to be used as a political ploy in this election, this is just done as propaganda to besmirch Trump and badmouth Trump. It's crazy that the mainstream media jumps in and then also aids the Kamala Harris campaign in their propaganda campaign.
It's deliberate demoralization of the population is my view. It's to demoralize people to not go into the army, whether or not it plays into going back to the CCP infiltration. It's demoralizing to the point where it will have national security impacts over the long run.
And Amy, what happens if he doesn't go?
They demonize him.
Yeah, if he doesn't
You're
go.
damned if you don't.
You're
damned if you don't. But can you guys believe that this is about to get even crazier and more hypocritical with what I'm about to show you? I know, hard to believe, but Connor, actually skip past this one. Let's go to the next one. And let's go ahead and play this. This is a Biden-Harris campaign filmed at Arlington.
A campaign ad?
Yes, literally at the end. So there's actually been a couple. This is the only one I was able to find a good clear video of.
Oh, God.
But literally, catch this at the end. It literally says vote Biden Harris, and it provides a phone number to call if you want to join the campaign.
I want to call them.
So go ahead.
Never lessen the magnitude of your loss. This I can promise you. We will never forget. May God bless you all. May God protect our troops.
What's the number? Oh, text. If there was a number, I was going to call and say, go to hell.
So they also just recently, just this summer, they also put out a campaign. You mentioned the fabricated quote that Donald Trump apparently said about what did Trump supposedly say according to the left about military members?
Oh, he said allegedly BS that they're suckers and they're sons of bitches or something. Somebody heard that somebody said. It's never on record.
It's like 20, 30 people denied ever hearing it. It's not something that makes sense to even entertain as something that someone would reasonably say.
The Biden-Harris campaign actually put out an ad, again, at Arlington ceremony, tombstones, like the whole ordeal, and they're putting up these quotes of Donald Trump and other quotes that they correlate with him disrespecting service members, and they literally use this as a campaign this summer. I didn't see any complaints about that from the left.
Never. You're never.
They repeated that lie multiple times at the DNC. Kamala Harris said it in her closing verbal diary of a speech. Joe Biden said it. Suckers and losers. That he didn't go to the cemetery in France because they were like something like, I think he said sons of bitches or something.
Yeah, whatever.
When he, in fact, as far as I understood, couldn't go because of weather. The helicopter couldn't land. They are the most disgusting liars on earth. And I say they. I'm sure there are some liars on the conservative side of the political spectrum. But it's a next level of evil to victimize the victims a second time.
Exactly. And DeSantis actually encapsulates this perfectly with this statement, which is why I wanted to end with this video. Connor, if you could play this.
First of all, he was invited by the Gold Star families. He didn't just show up to make a scene. They invited him to be there. They asked him to pose for photos with the family members of the fallen. So I don't see, the outrage, but here's the thing. If people like Harris and the media are going to express more outrage at that than the people that made them Gold Star families in the first place, something is wrong. That is unacceptable. Thanks, guys.
Wow, dude, good for good old Ron DeSantis, bro. They're gonna be outraged about him going, not about the people that made them Gold Star families. That's a punch right in the face,
he
bro.
He encapsulated that perfectly with that statement. Yeah.
It's just guys, and as a veteran, and I've had friends that have passed, like what the fact that you're using hate towards the military, or he's not supposed to go there, or he said this as if you're going to make the soldiers, because by the way, you disrespect the soldier, forget it. You know what I mean? Beyond, offending LGBTQ or whatever. This is like the highest level because these are our soldiers. These are the people, like Rob said, that give us the freedom, that sacrifice, that put their life on the line to give us to be able to burn the flag, to be able to do all these stupid shit that people are doing. To use that, I think is disgusting. And that's why the majority of military personnel, veterans and active duty, do not like Joe Biden or any Democrats. They are so pro freaking Donald Trump. It's insane, okay? The guy is a freaking rock star. They are inviting him to come to take photos and show respect because they know that he cares. And by the way, when you invite the other people at the same exact time, what a beautiful thing as a family. Like, you know what? He's the ex-president. You're the current president. Maybe even come.
They didn't even respond out of politics. I won't be seen on stage with that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Awful people.
Yeah, that just goes to show you the character of the left. And Dave, I know me and you say this a lot about evil, and guess what? I'm not using it as a euphemism. It's not a joking matter. Either you're working for something evil, like you actually know it, or you're too stupid to understand and you're just a dumbass pawn. Either way, nothing that they're doing is right. Nothing. And if you don't feel it in your gut that these people are full of shit, then you are a sheep. Okay? You are a sheep, and when shit hits the fan, you guys are going to be the first ones to feel it because none of you guys are going to be prepared. They're not going to help you. At least we have each other to be like, yo, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. You guys are going to feel the pain. Trust me.
Well, anybody who has not studied history knows that the revolutionaries are the first ones executed when their disruption is no longer needed by the regime. So
yeah, exactly. And it just gets me, dude, it drives me insane. And it's,
the one positive that I could see coming from this is all of the people who have lost somebody or anybody who has served, like yourself, Vinny. If they were ever going to vote left, if they had even considered voting for Kamala Harris this election season, hopefully this is something that will stop them from doing so.
I hope so too.
Because it's so despicable.
Oh, well, great story, Amy. Last one, guys. David, you're speaking of evil,
I'm putting it on blast, day in and day out.
So, cackling Kamala Harris, she was speaking in a couple locations, and she's flip flopping.
Look, I there's a lighthearted angle to this, and then it's going to get into the substantive angle of when people tell you who they are, listen the first time. Yes. I will make it my business to. They deserve public ridicule and public derision. They deserve it.
I do.
When people deserve to be cussed, sometimes they need to be cussed. And I'm spelling Coughlin Kamala Harris. I'm not going the hyperbolic way. Her cackle is enough to make you want to vomit.
Yeah.
She cackles when it's not right, when it's not
appropriate,
when it's not appropriate, and when it's very much out of context. And not just does she cackle. Apparently, she's a pandering pander bear like you've never seen before. She gave a speech on Labor Day, 2 speeches within the same day. But people noticed a little bit of an interesting thing about a southern twang. Who's that rooster from the cartoons?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Is that what I say. You better think. Okay, we got to play this before I get into making fun of it.
So which one, is this her in front of a black audience?
This is from what I don't know if the audience is primarily black.
Well, what city
black.
is she in?
I want to say Detroit. No, Detroit or Philly.
Detroit. Okay.
But also you got like Weingarten in the back there, so you got a little mix of crowd. One thing is for certain. She discovered her. I didn't know that thing's name was Leghorn Foghorn. Now
Leghorn.
Now I'm getting I'm understanding a lot of the replies to my Twitter feed. Okay, check this out. Play this.
Go ahead, play this one.
Let's just get through the next 64 days. How about
Let's
just get through the next 64 days. How about
or Indian family.
Oh no! Keep going.
Keep going.
Does it end there?
Did it end there? The one before?
Oh, that was the 60. Well, no, but then she starts talking. You better thank a member of the union for your days. It was like she stepped into a gospel church. All of the second, but play the second clip. We'll see the comparison.
So, friends.
Hello, friends.
64 days.
Oh, now that that
until the most election of our lives.
Oh my God!
So that one was comparing the 64,
and that was
days.
in Pittsburgh. You can tell by
Pittsburgh. Look how
total lack of diversity.
Yeah, they have to put one black person behind her, but everybody else is white. If you can notice, go to that photo right there, Connor. Look, one black person, everybody else is white. But notice how she said 64 days, and then now it's 64 days.
But the thing is this. I don't know how that doesn't piss people off of that whatever minority that she's pandering to. Like, if she steps up to, like, her husband, Doug Emhoff's congregation, and she starts talking like Jackie Mason, that's going to piss a lot of people off. You bet. Like, it's so disgustingly pandering, but that's the lighthearted angle about this. Remember when Trump took flack for saying... I didn't even know she was black. You know, in 2020, she sold herself as being the Indian district attorney, the first one in California's history, or senator, first Indian senator.
She's transracial.
She took, well, she's a woman of many identities, as mainstream media called it. It's great. She gets to play whatever identity she wants on that given day. Play this clip. What Trump said took a lot of flack for it. Okay. And I've spliced in the humorous angle to it thereafter.
Because she was Indian all the way, and then all of a sudden she made a turn, and she became a black person.
You may not be a union member. You better thank a union member. For the 5-day work week.
You better thank a union member.
For sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave. You better thank a union member for vacation time.
I say. Hold on, we're going to get back to the second part of what Trump said.
She was of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black because she was Indian all the way.
He took the heat he took for that. It's this was 3 weeks when that was when he gave the speech before the Association of Black Journalists. Yeah, took flack for it, and then 2 weeks later she proves that she is a pandering woman that will play racial identity when it's politically convenient. And
David, dude, you guys, oh my God, imagine she does this with every group. Like if she goes to what is the biggest Indian community in the United States? Does anybody know, Rob?
Probably
Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah, imagine she's like, hello everybody. If you have a job, you better thank, Indians like that, you better thank a union worker. You better thank a union worker, my friend. Dude, that would be a chameleon Kamala Harris. Dude, I think it's so disrespectful, and you're right, the outrage. Like, if I was just a black person, and again, she's Jamaican, she's not African American, you know, disrespectful, so meaning you're in front of us, so you have to talk like, yeah, everybody, like, you gotta talk
it's like the Hillary,
like ignorant,
like the Hillary Clinton hot sauce in her purse pandering. Yeah. It is predicated on the most racist of stereotypes and the racist of tropes. And by the way, I'm glad, you know, there's liberty that comes with being a stand-up comic. I wanted to make that joke, but I couldn't. I wanted to splice together Apu from The Simpsons and make the joke, but I couldn't. So I spliced together Jackie Mason. Like,
well, dude, I got in trouble for cooking with my feet.
Do you remember when she did she said that her collard greens were so much in demand that she had to wash them in the bathtub. Connor, you are a Seinfeld fan. Oh. Do you remember the episode where Kramer was he figured out that he could save time by preparing his salads in the shower? Oh, she literally took a storyline from Seinfeld and then repurposed it for her fictional black background.
Yeah. Number one, disgusting. That sounds so unhygienic and so disgusting. Why would she do that? But number two, I was going to ask you guys, do you think this was her genius idea, or do you think the campaign was like, all right, guys, this is what we're going to do? All right, so the next time...
I think Connor wants to respond.
Yeah, and remember when she said she grew up celebrating Kwanzaa when that holiday wasn't invented until she was 5 years old?
or listening to Tupac.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's hilarious.
It was a child. Wait, Vinny, please tell me you brought the Hillary one.
No, I didn't bring the Hillary one.
You know the Hillary one that I'm talking about?
No.
Hillary Clinton doing the same thing. You know about this video?
The hot sauce one?
No,
getting the twang.
Getting the,
by the way, what about AOC? Wait, you want to talk about the worst? AOC turns into the preacher from Coming to America. She's like, came to pray. Like, that's, dude, it's so embarrassing. But you know what sucks? Nobody's going to care about it except us because we dig deep. All right? The mainstream media, guys, 90% of Americans are not like us. Well, you guys are different.
Who the hell is watching her speech before the union on Labor Day? I mean, nobody's watching except for the 50 people in the crowd.
Yeah, that's it.
And the thing is, she was also channeling a little bit of Obama. I was trying to find some older speeches where Obama, because it was gospel-like delivery, but it wasn't throughout the entire speech. It was just at that moment. Yeah. The rest of it, she was normal Kamala. Yeah. But to bring it back to something substantive, and, you know, not just making fun of people who deserve to be made fun of. When people tell you who they are, yesterday, on the same day that video was going viral, there was another video that was purportedly of Kamala Harris approving of the ban of X in Brazil. And people showed a small clip of a video. And I'm looking at that video and I was saying, Kamala looks a little younger than she does now. I have questions as to whether or not that's contemporaneous. Went and found the original clip, which we're going to play now, because it's not just that Kamala is a race-baiting, pandering, cackling cow. She's also a commie. And when she tells you that she's a commie, you better listen to her. Let's play this clip, because in context, it's even worse than what it was.
65 million Twitter followers. He has proven himself to be willing to obstruct justice. Just ask Bob Mueller. You can look at the manifesto from the shooter in El Paso to know that what Donald Trump says on Twitter impacts people's perceptions about what they should and should not do.
One of the transgenders.
We're talking about a private corporation, Twitter, that has terms of use. And as far as I'm concerned, and I think most people would say, including members of Congress who he has threatened, that he has lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has
I'm shocked she actually spoke this long by herself. With oh my
This actually
God.
scares me.
I was, wow, Kamala knows
She's putting on the stupid.
Where was Tim Walz? Was he, I know this is a long time ago. Where was he? Was he like in the back? Like,
so funny, that was also some of the clips. Like, how much has she cognitively degenerated over the last 5 years that she almost, although fascistic, statist, communist, whatever, she could string together a thought.
It's super scary. Well, but you know what? I was thinking with the first clip, I was like, I mean, like, does it work? Is it a black guy in the audience going like, oh, she's doing a really good impersonation. I want to vote for her. But then I started thinking, if Trump came out and we're like, ASA, we're going to get all these illegals out like with the Latina accent.
Oh, my God.
I would ask to be taped to Donald Trump to take a bullet for him. Because that'd be hilarious. That'd be like, literally, he could wear me as body armor.
So funny. Just Umberto hugging him wherever he goes. Like, I'll get shot for you, Mr.
If
President.
Trump did a Latino impersonation, it's
my
over.
God.
He won the election.
Oh, my God. That's so messed up.
All that to say is that's from 2019 when she was given a talk with Jake Tapper where they're talking about regulating social media companies and referring to it as a privilege that the President of the United States of America could use the social media platform to communicate with Americans, showing her commie tendencies early and showing them strong. And then I had to needle Lex Friedman just a little bit. I mean, and as much as I know Lex, he's a good guy, does good long format interviews. He had Trump on. And there was a moment where I swear to you, I think Lex Friedman might have actually realized in real time, Kamala is a communist. So play this. It's hilarious.
Okay.
There's a lot of people listening to this, myself included, that doesn't think that Kamala is a communist.
Well, she's a Marxist.
Her father's a Marxist.
That's right.
And she's advocating.
It's a little unusual, you know.
She's advocating for some policies that are towards the direction of democratic socialism, let's say.
Wait, time out. Like, okay, he's like, I don't think that she is. Well, her dad's a Marxist. She's a Marxist. And he goes, well, yeah, her ideas and her policies. Then what are you talking about, Lex? You just heard yourself say exactly what the hell
Were you being
she's doing.
sarcastic about him being a good guy?
I don't mind him.
He's a freaking plant. I can't stand this guy. I can't stand him. Like, he is literally like a glass of warm milk. He has no personality, no flair. He's an absolute idiot. Like, whoever comes in will convince him of anything. Like, if he had a Nazi in there, he'd be like goose stepping out of the interview. He's a fucking idiot. Whatever comes in. Like, I can't freaking stand that guy. I don't know if he made. I don't know. He has millions of followers, and Trump. What's going on? He's like the Cardi B of podcasters.
I love Lex Friedman, Russian-American computer scientist, works at Harvard, and you called him an MIT. I'm sorry, and you called him an idiot. And I don't disagree with you at all. That's
been debunked. That's been debunked. People that went to MIT, they say he was just hanging around the hallways.
He's a plant?
Yeah, he's a plant.
Look, I don't feel that I know. I don't feel that I know Lex Friedman well enough.
Wait, you want to get in there?
From Russia, a plant for who?
Huh?
Russia.
No, for the feds. He's a Fed. Come on. Chat, vote right here. Is Lex Friedman a Fed? I know Viva wants to get in there. That's why he's being nice.
Yeah.
But don't invite me, Lex. I won't go to your show.
Yo, by the way, and I want ask the chat right now. Do you guys think that Lex Friedman is a Fed?
The poll is going to be 95% yes, and I can understand why people see it.
By the way,
I mean, he looks like a man in black, for goodness sake. But
I'm not gonna lie, like Umberto, I gotta side with him. Like, it is the most boring. Like, I was driving once, and I literally had to pull over and drink 2 Red Bulls.
Very
He's
monotone.
like, so what do you think? And I was just like,
You know how I measure YouTubers? Merch. What type of merch does this guy sell? Like plain white t-shirts?
Snoopy sleeping on the doghouse.
I don't know what it is. Would you buy a t-shirt from him?
No.
All that to say, I don't feel that I know Lex well enough to lambaste him like that. If he's a Jake Tapper or a Potato Head, what's that guy's name? Brian Stetler.
Oh, Stetler, coming back.
I feel good enough. I feel like I know them well enough to make fun of
I
him.
have 40 hours of Lex Friedman. I'm a Lex Friedman expert. I know him better than he does himself. And he's an idiot. And he shouldn't be doing YouTube. I'm sorry. I said what I said. That's what it is.
That's now all that to say. Which is my camera, Lex. If her dad's a Marxist and she goes for what was it called? A democratic socialist? That's socialist. She's a commie by another commie light. And so I hope that was a moment of awakening. They're like, now that I say it out loud, she is a commie. A cackling, copycat, Kamala, pandering commie.
Yeah.
I always say, if you fence it long enough, you're gonna get impaled and you're gonna like it. Sorry, that's what it is.
The expression is, if when you walk in the middle, you get hit by the traffic on both sides. There's not necessarily anything inherently laudable about walking in the middle of a highway.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, and listen, September 10th, Rob.
Yes, a week from yesterday, 6 days. And we're doing a live event, so I know that there are very limited tickets remaining, but if you're interested in coming, 7 to 11 p.m., Tuesday, September 10th, you can get tickets at 5990live.com.
Oh, God, yeah, because we're going to watch it. Dave, you should probably come. I don't know if you're going to be busy. Are you going to be busy?
I might be live streaming it myself.
Okay, you might be live streaming, but you guys, come, mark my words, come the night of September 10th when Donald Trump eviscerates this cackling moron. The Democratic Party the deep state is gonna shift into a gear that I think is gonna get very, very ugly. Mark my words. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it's gonna be bad. I love Donald Trump. He opens it and then he goes in. But all right, guys. Thank you guys. The show was freaking amazing. Thank you guys, Connor, Jake, Jeremy in the back, everybody at home. God bless you guys. I love you guys. Take care of each other, and we will see you guys on Friday. Peace and love.